Hi, I'm Tom Nunamaker with Airmer Corporation. I'm going to show you today an interesting strategy, the Breakeven Iron Condor. John Einar wrote this up in January of 22. It's now about 13 months later, and several of us have been trading this and like it. So I decided to code it up in a spreadsheet to make it easier to implement. So John's write-up was from April to December of 2022. It was 9 months, 588 trades. That's about a little over 3 trades per trading day. He used an average buying power of 12 to 15,000. He made $9,000 after commissions and fees. So 41% of the trades were winners, 59% losers. All 9 months were profitable. The reason works is because the average winner was 2.5 times the average loser, so it's a positive expectancy trade, which is great. And very tight stop loss, small losers. It's a day trading strategy. And now we have more. At the time John was doing this, he only had 3 expirations per week. Now we have 5. So you can get a lot more trades in, which means the results are probably going to be a little bit better. Let's take a look at the trade. So here's the spreadsheet. But to understand it, let me just do a quick, oops, I don't want to do that. This through a whiteboard. Okay, so I have like our 0 line. And now we'll do a typical Iron Condor. It might look like this. And the blue line goes out farther, of course. So what happens, the market will be about here when you put these on. And you're going to put, after you get filled, this credit, this distance here is your credit. Just for the sake of argument, say you get $2. Now, when the market moves one direction, could be either one, doesn't matter, but we'll say for the sake of argument, moves higher. When it gets to a certain point, when the price of just this call spread, this portion, when that becomes just around $2, you're going to just take the whole thing, this whole side off. And that'll turn the trade into something that looks like this. Actually, it'll be a little bit over. Something more like, oops. Yeah, draw it a little bit better. Be something like this. So you'll have usually very small profit, maybe $10, $15. The way John did it, he actually used a little bit at the money price, so at the price that he got filled at on the Condor originally. So with slippage and stuff, his line was just slightly below, which is why he had more losers and winners. But what can happen if you do this, you just have a put spread and the market, is up here, so the put spread's fairly safe. But every once in a while, the market will take out this side, and then I'll reverse and take out this side. So when that happens, you have approximately a minus 1x loss. So whatever you receive for the original Condor, $2, that's about what your loss is going to be. And that happens roughly about 3% of the time. I think John was 3.1, but about about a 3% chance, call it. So not very often, but that's factored into the wins and losses. So to implement this, here's what we're going to do. We have the date. Today's the 4th. It's a Saturday, so Monday is the first day of trading that I have available. SPX gets pulled in automatically. The cells with the light blue background color are for you to input data. So you can put in how many spreads you want. Do you want 5, or 10, or 2, or oops, let me do that. Let me undo that. We'll just go back to 1. Calculate the at the money, and then the delta range. So the delta range is the short legs are between 5 and 15 delta, and I've got 5 and 15 here. This highlights the deltas for the puts and for the calls between 5 and 15. So you can pick any of these. If we just pick the one that's about $1, maybe $1.25, that would work, or even $1, that's fine. And we'll select it. Then that puts in the short and long puts, and with the delta and the spread price for the puts. Now we have to do one for the calls. And if you try and create the Condor order now, it's going to say you have to create or select a call and a put spread. So let's pick one of these put spreads, maybe this one with an 8 delta. We'll select that. So now our total position delta is just about minus 0.5 delta, 0.7 actually. And these are the prices for the puts and the calls and the total condor price. And now what we'll do is, oops, I'm going to do that. I wanted to do this. So we haven't been filled yet. So now let's create the Iron Condor order. And this is for thinkorswim, remember? So we'll click on this, and now the order has been copied to the clipboard. So let's go to thinkorswim. Click on this little icon, make sure the order entry and saved orders is up. And it's probably deleted, so it's probably blank like this. So you want to click on this icon right here, the paste order from clipboard. So when we do that, we right click, analyze, and now we'll take a look at it. Here's the Iron Condor. So we can check the strike. So 40.45 is the long put, 40.70 is the short put, 41.90 is the short call, 42.15 is the long call. So there's your Iron Condor. And this says we can get about 210 for it. So let's say for the sake of argument that our fill price was 210. We can put that in here. And now we have to decide, do we want to have a profit target order that just takes us out if the Condor decreases down to a certain price? And you could do that, maybe say 35 cents. And then for our stop and our limit and our stop limit, so we have to set some numbers here. So the stop, I do it 5 or 10 cents below the fill price. So this actually calculates it for me. So if I want 10 cents below, it would be $2. And then say the limit price is going to be a little bit less than this, so maybe 15 and 20. So this is calculating the prices that we want for our stop or stop limit and our limit orders for the trade. So if we have the Iron Condor on and the market's behaving, we can just create a closing order. And let's take a look at that. We'll put the closing order in, just paste it. Oops, let's delete these. Paste in the new order, analyze that. And you can see we have a flat line now, $175 profit, which makes sense. It's 210 minus 35, so 175 profit. So there you go. So that's the closing order for the Condor. So now if we go back here, let's put the put order and the call order in. So it has to be an OCO, one cancels the other. So we'll click on this. Now it's copied in the clipboard. Come back to thinkorswim, and remember it said OCO, so you got to come down here. This is OCO, and let's delete this. OCO. Now we can paste this. You see there's two orders here. And if we take this yellow line here, you can see here's the order that we want to get filled. This is the order that's our emergency stop order. So what do I mean? Well, if we look at this, the stop is going to wait until the price of the put spread gets to $1.90. And once it does that, it'll put in an order to close that put spread at $1.95. If the price of the spread gets to $2, it's going to do a market order, and as soon as this gets filled, it's going to cancel it's going to cancel the other one that's not filled yet. So this is one cancels the other. Only one of these is going to fill, and as soon as one does, it cancels the other one automatically. But that's kind of the way we have these prices. So the stop price is the closest to the fill price of your Condor. This is a little bit less, and this is a little bit less. So when we look at it on the spreadsheet, it makes sense. There's the stop price, there's the limit price, and there's the stop limit price. And you can see it's really easy to put in. Just click on here, here's your OCO. And then when you actually submit this order, I'll just submit it because it's the weekend, it's not going to get filled. Now you see this linked order here. So one of these will get filled, the other one will not. I'm going to just cancel the whole group. And we do the same thing for the calls. And all you do literally is just click this. Now it's in the clipboard. Go back to thinkorswim. To our orders. Paste that in. Oops. I had single order. See, I messed it up. So let me delete that. OCO. There it is. There's both of them. And we use the same numbers. 295, 90, hit confirm and send, and then there you go. So then you've got those two working orders and you just let them go. You can close it later in the day if you want to. So what I would do is if you wanted to close it, create a closing order, and then just if it hits it, then just cancel the working orders to close each side. So that's it. It's pretty simple to do with this spreadsheet. And if you've used it the day before, all you got to do is refresh the spreads, and then that clears out the boxes. But the boxes show what you clicked on, and it also here. As far as changing the spread width, you can do that easily here. 20. So say we did a 2015. Now we're going to select this and select this, but there's a problem because we didn't refresh the spreads. So anytime you change these prices, you want to refresh the spreads, and now you want to pick the ones in between here, and that'll be a good condor. So remember, just refresh the spreads after you've changed the widths of any of these. Now, if these widths are not the same, they're actually slightly directional, and you can see what the delta of the position is, 1.71. If I make this 10, remember, refresh the spreads, and I'll pick a couple. Now our delta is a little bit higher. Now it's a 10 delta. If we go like a 5, refresh. I'll keep using the same put spread. So that's what's this one? There's a 5 delta. There's a 9 delta. So it depends on how bullish or bearish you want to get with these. You can just play around with these spread differences. And if you want to take a look at it, let's take a look at this Iron Condor. It's very narrow on the call side. So I'll paste it in, take a look, and we'll hide this one. You can see this one is more bullish. If the market rallies, it's not going to take much to just close this side and you'll be in good shape. But anyway, there's lots of different ways you can set these up, and you have the flexibility to do that. Most people will just do symmetric on the same side. If you are a little directional one way or the other, you can just make that the wing width narrower on the direction that you want to go. So if you're a little bearish, make this maybe like a 10, and you can make this wider like a 25. And remember, refresh the spreads. Let's pick some deltas here. Like a 9 delta and a 8 delta. So this is a -5 delta trade. We'll copy that to the clipboard. And I'll go paste this in. Oh, let me delete that other one that was there. Paste, analyze, and you can see there's this kind of bearish one. It's leaning a little bit short. The delta's negative, and if the market moves down a little bit, you're not going to get taken out. It'll get taken out faster on the upside here. So that might be a strategy for you. Just have a little bit of directional one, and then if it does go against you, now these are the expected moves, so it's going to be fairly safe, and you're not going to risk quite as much. So anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoy the spreadsheet, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions.